This man is dressed in a suit, tie a tie, spray perfume. Do you think he's going on a date? No, he actually wanted to kill himself. But by the time he wanted to kick the chair down, there was a noise outside the window. He was very angry. The new neighbor didn't know the way, so he had to show them where to park the car. They even damaged his mailbox. With no other choice, he had to help them drive into the parking lot. Then he returned to his room to continue suicide. He had just put a rope around his neck when the neighborhood children ran to the window. He had to pull the rope to avoid making the children feel scared. It seems that today is not a good day to die. The film is called A Man Called Ove. The beginning may seem sad, but it is actually a very warm human love story, because it has helped so many people who are losing hope in their lives warm their hearts. This old man, named Ove, has a tough personality. The first thing he did every day was to patrol his housing complex. He did not let cats roam around and let dogs go out on the street. But he would pick up the cigarette butt that had fallen on the ground and wipe clean the neighborhood children's toys. He sorted out the trash, then checked the parking lot of the whole area. He did not allow the car to park over time, much less let the car crash into the residential area. He served as the neighborhood association president until his wife died. The death of his wife also took away all his desire to live. On that day, Ove was extremely desperate. He wanted to go with his wife, but he hoped he could die when he dressed up a little. So he wore a suit, sprayed perfume. He put his wife's photo out the window. Wait a moment, I'll be with you soon. But then he was interrupted by the new neighbor. The next day, he decided to pull the curtains back, then put the rope around his neck again. But now the doorbell rang non-stop. Ove opened the door indignantly. He just wanted to open his mouth to curse when he saw two children. Ove felt very annoyed. The new neighbor wanted to borrow him a ladder. The old lady beside also asked Ove to fix the plumbing. Arriving home, Ove looked at his wife's photo and smiled. Between life and death there seems to be a door. His wife on the other side smiled at him, and Ove on this side knocked on the door. This time, no one can stop him from coming to his wife. Before he died, his life began to flicker one last time. Since childhood Ove lost his mother, he and his father depended on each other to live. After that, his father also left him to go to the afterlife. The only thing that contained memories was the house, was also burned down by a fire. Ove is like a rootless hyacinth that has been drifting everywhere. He got on a train with no end point. He also didn't want to ask where he was, until one day, Ove woke up. A pair of red high heels caught his eye. Makes Ove's life in black and white bright. She is the wife he loves most, Sonia. But now those memories are like the magic of time. He felt that it was not long before his love returned when the rope broke. Ove once again failed to kill himself. Ove felt very angry. He went to the store to complain to the staff about the quality of the rope. Then he tried another way to continue his suicide. He plugged the air vent into the trunk of the car. Then he closed the windows and started the engine. He breathed a sigh of relief, looking back at himself in the mirror. In the melodious music, Ove slowly closed his eyes. But at this moment the garage sounded a pounding on the door. Again the neighbor bothered him. Parvana says her husband was not careful to fall and break his leg. She wanted to ask Ove to take her and her children to the hospital. He was very angry, but agreed to take them away. But when he took Parvana to the hospital, he had to stay with her children for her to visit her husband. Ove, who has a bad temper, now has to comfort children. He made up the sound of bears to tell stories to the children. At the moment, he did not realize that this was his happiest time since his wife died. After returning home, Ove left immediately, but the two children hugged him happily. Maybe he couldn't die today, but not too bad. The next day, he thought differently. He felt that dying on the rails was not bad, but there are people even faster than him. He turned around and saw that no one was helping the man. They just pulled out their cell phones to take pictures. Ove jumped down angrily to save the man who was fainted. Then he tried to kill himself when he saw a boy standing by the train track like he was a child. He did not want that boy's childhood to remain haunted, so he gave up at the last moment. Parvana brings him a picture of her daughter and then points to the only person with color in the picture. Parvana says that Ove in the eyes of her children is adorable. Although this woman has repeatedly broken his plans, Ove feels warm. The following days, Ove was no longer alone. He mocked the new neighbor's driving techniques while teaching them personally. He also adopted a feral cat that he once chased away. After that, he went with his cat to visit his wife's grave. He also adopted a young man who had no home to return. The team that went to the patrol every morning also became more crowded. The young people bring of energy, but also make him immersed in the most painful memories. He and his wife go on a honeymoon together. The baby in her womb is extremely active. Ove felt that happiness. When he entered the toilet, he dared to shed tears. But the world also collapsed at that moment. An accident took their child away. His wife also lost 2 legs. But not so that Sonia gave up. On the contrary, she cheered for Ove, made him make a wheelchair path himself. Sonia goes down that path and truly becomes a teacher. She really is like an angel who descended. She used all the remaining energy to make the naughty students become a useful person to society. Until 6 months ago, Sonia was diagnosed with cancer. Finally, death took her away. Fortunately, now beside Ove, there is also a cat with 2 children who are not of the same blood, but still call him Granddad. Parvenu is like his daughter. She's pregnant again. Ove has another grandchild. He awkwardly held a baby, like he was holding a small son in his arms. If Sonia was the one who brought color to Ove's black and white world, the neighbors would have completed the picture of his life. They are the ones who make the end of Ove's life a warm color. He still often goes to his wife's grave to recall the past and honor the present. After a big snowfall, it was quiet outside the window. Ove no longer went out to sweep the snow as usual. Parvenu immediately ran over to his house. Ove's cat is protecting his long sleep. In the end, Ove got his will, just not by suicide, but a peaceful sleep. Because before he left, he made up with this world. In the church, Ove used to see off his parents alone. Until today, the whole housing complex came here to say goodbye to him. It is like someone once said, there is no wound that cannot be healed nor suffering that never ends. After watching this deeply gentle movie, we get to know a friend named Ove. Although he said goodbye to life, he did not hate it. Because the day that he died failed, he was like being born again. He begins to live, and is responsible for it. Humans will get old, everyone will have the time to say goodbye to life. Live happily while you can. Okay, this movie is over. Thanks for watching, bye bye.